Hi, welcome to Mindful Conversations. I'm Greg Dwyer. My guest today is Kevin Lane. We had him on last week and we have him on today. Today we're going to talk about hard work, we're going to talk about marketing and also social media. So you're a lucky guy. Like you had this idea probably from childhood and now you got the attention of Walmart, you got the attention of Amazon, Amazon.com, the Prime, and then other companies as well. How in the world does that happen? Does that happen overnight?
No. I am lucky in the sense that I fell into a lot of this. It's the story that we told in the last segment when I was on a random beach and I got on QVC because of that. This is definitely more hard work than luck, though.
It is.
You have to put yourself out there and you have to be fully invested.
Okay.
So rather than going door to door, I like to say I go beach to beach.
I love it.
Literally.
I love it.
Literally, and that's really what has gotten me a lot of my luck is going beach to beach.
So they talk about opportunity and luck meeting, and that opens up doors. Like hard work, luck, opportunity, they go together. A lot of times I think people wait for their ship to come in, and making the metaphor with the beach and everything, you're actually going out there looking for clients and you go where they go, which is the beach.
Yes.
How do you work with the media? I mean, have you figured out how to get media attention? NBC, CBS, all of those shows or talk shows? Talk about the talk show that you were on. Live
with Kelly and Ryan.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was through a PR firm that we were using.
Okay.
So that, again, a little bit of luck. That was another client that I had through my web business.
Okay.
He happened to know one of the most renowned PR firms in the toy space.
Wow.
And this is the gentleman, his name is Barry Schwartz, Schwartz PR. He is the gentleman who was basically responsible for bringing Legos into North America, Whammo Frisbee, Rubik's Cube, all these iconic toys.
The hula hoop? No. The
I don't know
yo-yo?
if it was the hula hoop or the yo-yo.
Okay. But
wow. He was around that time, and he's still doing it. And
That's amazing.
But again, luck, right? It's the right place at the right time and paying attention.
Right.
And just being open and basically share your story with your passion and your heart behind it. Okay. Because if you don't tell your story with your passion, it's not going to come off as I really want to do this.
Right. They'll know that you're not authentic, that it's, well, this couldn't be another job because, I mean, I've talked to you before and you've told me that in some cases you're going to bed at 2 in the morning, going to bed at 3 in the morning. You know, this is not a 9 to 5 gig.
No.
Okay.
Furthest thing from. Right now we're doing a gigantic social media push with an agency, and it's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, it's figuring out, are we hitting the right audiences? There's lookalike audiences that looks like the original Facebook audience that we hit. Now we're going to kind of copy that model and target different people.
Right.
So this is a lot of work. You need to be 100%, 110% involved in every single portion of it because you really have to know all the gears of the machine because nothing else like this ever existed before.
Right.
And my hardest part is retraining the human mind in a sense.
Your mind? Or their mind?
Their mind.
Their mind.
Their mind, because everybody's conditioned to bottom fill the molds, flip them, and lift them, and they're done.
Right.
You don't have to think like that anymore.
Right. So
it's a very one-dimensional thought process to just fill something, flip it, and lift it, and repeat.
Right.
This is just pure open-ended. I mean, this can be anything you want it to be.
Right.
So
you're changing people's thinking. You're challenging
their habits. Yeah.
Their habits.
That's the hardest part of this is we keep getting compared to those one-dimensional traditional molds, whereas we're not.
Well, how could you? You could just go and get a sand bucket.
Yeah.
But you can't do that with this. I mean, they don't relate at all.
Yeah, but when like say we get into a specialty retail toy shop.
Okay.
In their mind, it's just another sand product. So they place it next to that, and now people are going to look at it and say, should I spend $20, $30, $40, $50,
right, or
should I spend $6 to $10 on something that's going to be a one-time use and break?
Well, this starts at what, 20, 25?
Well, our starter kit is $19.99.
So it's very economic, right?
Yep.
So, you're looking at a bucket, which is $6, right? I get it. And then you look at this, but there's more you can do with this, and it's a lot easier, and it's novel, which is nice as well.
It's novel. It comes, you probably can't see it on the screen here, but it's novel. It comes in a backpack.
Right.
It comes with multiple tools. breakaway buckles that actually become a sculpting tool. Once you get more advanced, you could break this out.
Oh, very nice.
You could even, if you really want to start getting advanced, you could break it with a wire. This is a fully modular system that allows you to do whatever you want. You could be a beginner, or you could be an advanced. I have advanced sand sculptors down in Florida who have shown such interest in this that we're going to be launching a training class next spring.
So you can grow into the product.
Well, not only grow into it, so sand sculptors do lessons now.
Okay.
You could take sand sculpting lessons down in the Panhandle and all down throughout Florida.
Okay.
The one thing that's missing is when you walk away, you don't have any tools that you're walking away with. You have to go and buy them on your own.
Right.
This, you're going to get lessons, and you're going to walk away with a kit.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to learn how to use the product, and you're going to walk away and know how to use that product on any beach or any snow area that you go to.
So are you like franchising that out to people who are teaching?
Eventually, I would like to get into a franchise possibility. That's a whole new thing. We're going to test the water, so to speak.
Okay.
In the spring, in the Panhandle of Florida is going to be our startup.
So you've been doing this for how many years? 2, 3?
Not even 2 yet. It's been about a year and a half.
Okay, a year and a half. And have you broken past that magic number where the return on investment has paid off? Or are you still looking? Or?
Yeah, no, we're not there yet, just because people don't realize that there's a lot of economics that go into this.
Oh,
It's big expense.
It is.
You have the mold costs.
Right.
You have the legal fees.
The marketing alone.
The marketing.
Right.
I mean, this is probably a $400,000 to $500,000 investment at this point.
Right. It's like buying a nice house in Litchfield County or wherever.
Exactly.
So you got skin in the game, as they say.
Yes, I do.
So it requires hard work. It requires passion. It requires equity. Now, some people look for investors. Did you do it, or are you just paying this yourself, or maybe it's too personal of a question, but what do you think a business person should do? Look for financial backing? Or?
I think, if I'm going to take it to that next level, eventually I would need to find some type of investment and some type of equity to make my business that much more liquid.
Right.
But right now, we've been able to kind of slip through the cracks, so to speak, and really self-fund it, and we have the whole pie.
Right.
So, if we end up going on Shark Tank.
You read my mind. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, if we ever end up going on Shark Tank, you'll always see that, the whole dialogue can change the second they say that, well, we have other investors.
Yeah.
I don't have that issue.
Right.
So that's an important part, is to really hold on to the pie. Because, again, this is your baby.
Yeah. Well, I don't watch a lot of television, but I do know that show. And I also know that, they put you under the spotlight, right? And then they start asking you questions about your equity and how liquid you are. And, they kind of put you under a microscope there.
Absolutely. And you've got to be prepared. They always say, know your numbers before you go in there.
Yeah.
You have to know your numbers.
Yeah.
So I would need to know my costs on each product type,
exactly,
and what our margins are.
Yeah, see, I'm the very creative. I have a very creative, artistic mindset. I don't have the engineering side at all. Like, I rely on other people, and the numbers are important in business. You can't just go out there and just do a business without knowing the numbers.
Yeah.
What about just surrounding yourself with highly successful people that can pick up the slack where I would lack or you would lack? Do you rely on a lot of people like that?
That would be my wife.
Oh, your wife, Lori, yeah. Tell me about Lori.
So she's the numbers person. I'm the creative person.
Oh, okay, so you're married into this balance.
Yes.
So you got the balance going. Okay.
Yes, and there are obviously other people that we've spoken with on this journey. There's one fellow down in Florida, Bill Hones. He owns his own toy business. It's called Surfer Dudes.
Oh, cool.
The parent company is called Toyosity. And he's a pure numbers guy, so he even scares Lori a little bit because he just has everything down to the penny.
Wow.
But that's really, going back to what you said, you need to surround yourself with people like this because it influences you.
It does.
And it changes your thought process.
It does.
Yeah,
Napoleon Hill talked about that. He wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, and he talked about this concept of the mastermind. And it's who you surround yourself with yourself. And if you surround yourself with people that are making the same amount of money that you are, or living in the same kind of economic situation, you're probably going to stay that way. You find these people to make yourself feel comfortable and liked, and it's your tribe. And so I think once you step out of your comfort zone and you start start meeting other people that challenge your identity or challenge your reality or challenge your map of the world. You know, you meet somebody that says, oh yeah, I made $1 billion last year, or I made $1 million last month, or I just traded a stock and I made $100,000. You're like, what? You know, so it is those people that challenge you and help you.
Yeah, and the biggest thing about inventing a product with something that is really brand new to the market still, you can never make it just about the money. Obviously, money is a factor.
Right, you want to get your return on your investment plus make money.
Exactly, right? But you can never go into it with just, I'm going to get rich quick thought process.
Right.
Because then you're losing your passion.
Yeah.
So there has to be, just like in life, there needs to be a balance.
Okay.
And if you don't have that balance, you're at risk.
Well, you're at risk, I think, I'm thinking about mythology, you know, greed, or just flying too high and getting full of yourself. You know, you read these stories of these great heroes or these great people, whether they're in politics or religion, or they're just actors, or they're just people of influence. They fly very high, and then they come crashing down because of something. It could be money, it could be sex, it could be greed, it could be just being dishonest. And it's kind of a familiar story. So I guess the answer is Lori keeps you in check, right?
She keeps me grounded.
It's not going to work. The numbers don't show. Not do this today. So talk a little bit about Walmart. Talk a little bit about Amazon. That's amazing that you were able to.
Amazon. You know, Amazon was incredible because I knew nothing really about Amazon before I got into all of this.
Okay.
And I was at Surf Expo down in Florida, our best performing show to date, any trade show that we've done.
Oh, wow.
And you know, there's reps from all over the country coming through that want to represent your line. If they see something they like, they hand you a business card and say, please, we want to sell your line on Amazon.
Really?
So basically I found a company in Connecticut that's local, and they're called Trinity Group. I think they're out of Bridgeport, I want to say. And they're a great group because they're local, first of all, so I can pick up the phone and call them, or even go down and see them if I need to.
Okay.
And they kind of help you navigate the waters of Amazon, because Amazon is a gigantic ocean now.
It is.
And it's scary to navigate if you don't know what you're doing, so they really kind of help you get through all the choppy waters, so to speak.
What's so scary about it? It seems to me, a person has a product, they sell it to the company, they don't stock it, right? You're shipping it, so what's so difficult about it?
Yeah, you know, it's not that easy though, because like, we're not really selling it to Amazon. They'll house it for us.
Okay.
Because we are doing FBA.
Okay.
It's all fulfilled by Amazon.
It is.
But they don't really own the product per se. You're just basically sending it to their warehouses, and then dirty little secret is not a lot of people know this.
Well, don't say it.
No, I will say it because it's fascinating.
Is it? Go ahead.
I didn't even know this. So I saw the numbers, the inventory levels keep going up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
And I realized when I finally talked to Trinity Group that they are actually figuring out, Amazon has such an incredible algorithm now. That they figure out where the hot spots are and where the product is selling, so they're shipping the product to those distribution centers.
Before they're being sold?
Yes.
It's almost like a prediction.
They know where the product is actually going to be selling, so they're putting it into the hubs that it's selling best. So Florida was one of our best zones.
Wow. So they're sending them ahead of time.
Yep. And you know, at first we were sending them to Massachusetts, New York, different distribution centers.
Right.
And they would, like I said, the inventory numbers would just drop way down. I'm like, oh my gosh, we must have sold like 50 units last night.
Oh, but they moved them to Florida.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's fascinating. That's the kind of stuff that, you know, I had no idea getting into this, but that it's an amazing process to watch and to kind of experience it all.
I think there's some people that go to school for this kind of work, engineer type, and they deal with marketing and trends, and not only trends, but they know ahead of time what you're going to buy based on your past experience, based if you're married, based if you're divorced, based if you're single, based if you're going through a life change. I mean, they know the stats.
Yeah.
It's predictable because they're looking at patterns.
Yeah.
They're not taking risks because they're saying, okay, this guy just got married. Here are the products that he's going to want to buy. And now, maybe 9 months later, a year later, 2 years, they're going to start a family. So let's put stuff together that's going to help them think about buying these things. It's it's scary in a way.
It's predictive analytics, they call it.
Is that what it is? Okay, you know more about it than I do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Talk a little bit about the other company. Was it Walmart?
Yeah, it's Walmart.com.
Okay. And is that the same as Amazon as far as trickiness or what?
Yeah, it's been even trickier because we don't really have an agent to work with them.
Okay.
So we're learning their whole portal on our own day to day, picking up the phone, calling people at Walmart saying, how do we do this?
Yeah.
You log into their portal and there's literally like 150 different applications to do different things.
Wow.
So you need to kind of, again, we're navigating it on our own and figuring it out.
So that's online just like Amazon.com is?
Walmart.com, yeah. We're not there yet. We're hoping to be up there by November at some point.
Okay, which this is probably going to air in November. Now, what about literally getting into their stores? Now, I know Christmas is around the corner. When would they be able to take your product on the store shelf?
So that's the beautiful thing about what they do. They're again, a very smart company. Same with Barnes & Noble. We sell through BarnesandNoble.com.
Oh, you do? Okay, great.
So the thing is that they test the waters on their .com platforms to see how the product will sell. And if the product sells well, then they'll pick up the phone and call you and say, let's have a conversation about going national in one of our storefronts.
Would that change your life overnight?
It could.
It could.
But again, it would be, you'd be digging more work for yourself. I'll leave it at that.
Well, this is what you build this dream, right? It reminds me of the guy that's sitting on the beach, right? He's sitting on the beach and he's fishing and he brings in a couple fish a day and the guy walks over from New York and says, hey, if you get a couple more boats, you could make more money and then you could sit on this beach and do nothing. The guy goes like, well, I already do that. You know the story. You've probably heard it before.
Yep.
So at what point do you say to yourself, I've pushed this rock up the hill. At one point it becomes such a big job that you're like, I want to have freedom. Let's sell this for $10 million and then walk away. Is it a philosophical question? Have you thought about that, or?
I just take it day to day.
You do?
Honestly, I take it day to day, and if I start overthinking things too much, then I'll scare myself. Because this is a big investment, a lot of work, and things happen day to day that you just don't see coming, but you deal with them.
Right.
You navigate and you pivot your business as you need to pivot your business.
So what are some of the characteristics that a person needs to be an entrepreneur?
Hardworking, self-confident, motivated, and just not get much sleep.
Yeah.
That's all parts of the equation. And be super creative and be ready to make sacrifice. That's a word that nobody talks about, is sacrifice.
Talk about sacrifice. What do you mean? Family? You mean money? You mean?
Everything. Everything. Money, family, time, energy. For instance, I'm going down to Florida pretty much for the whole month of this November through December.
You'll be there for 2 months.
I'm going to be there for almost 1 month.
1 month, okay.
And basically, this is the first time ever in my life I will not be with my family for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And Thanksgiving's an important time of year for everybody because that's when you catch up with your family, you reconnect.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I'm going to be on a beach by myself somewhere selling product.
Wow.
So, sacrifice is a big part of it. I'm away from my family. I don't get to see my kids as much as I want to see them, but in the big picture, they get it, I get it, and you all have to be able to, connect in that sense.
It sounds like you're on a mission.
I am on a mission. I am. It's definitely a mission.
Do you think the mission, obviously you want to make a return on your investment and you want to take this creative product to a successful point, but do you think you're being driven by something deeper, that maybe it is about helping families reconnect? I'm looking at this thing and it connects, and it's kind of a metaphor in my mind for bringing society or bringing communities together. Is that the thing? What motivates you, I guess? Like deep down, what is it?
It's what you just said.
Okay.
It's important to me because as a society, we're kind of losing touch with one another.
We are.
On that social level.
We are.
So the beauty of sandcastles is when you build them, people come.
Yeah.
You turn heads, it creates a conversation.
Right.
And it gets you into that spirit of talking again.
Right.
And people put their phones down.
No cell phone needed.
Well, when you're done, you can take pictures of it, but other than that,
yeah, that's true.
No cell phone needed.
You do want to have a little bit of. We took a picture before we started here, so I get it.
That's really my biggest driving force, but equally another driving force for me is the creativity that I get out of this.
Yeah.
It allows me to really exercise my God-given talent of being able to do this kind of stuff and possibly make a living out of it. I mean,
Right,
that's really the end game is having fun, being super creative. And again, I don't worry about the money right now. The money will come eventually.
Sure.
It's just I want to have fun and I want to change people's lives for the better.
It sounds like you almost have to have a little bit of faith.
A lot of faith.
A lot of faith.
A lot.
Okay, that's
Yes,
cool. You know, you
definitely.
don't hear about this. You go to these seminars where people talk about getting rich quick or buy my book and you can learn how to flip houses. But I appreciate the fact that you're talking about your real experience. You're not just here to talk about a product that you love, but you're talking about the journey. And I think anybody that wants to do something needs to count the cost before they start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. You know, there's a big misconception because all the photos that I show are photos of these beautiful sandcastles on the west coast of Florida with perfect sunsets.
Right.
And people are like, oh my God, I wish I could live his life. They're not seeing me in the warehouse filling, 300 and something kits
Right.
in 2 days,
Right.
picking and packing with my family, palletizing them, boxing them, doing all that grunt work.
Yeah.
And that's really the biggest misconception is you live this grandiose life.
Right.
You don't. There's an iceberg.
Yeah.
All you see is the tip.
Yeah, that's, I think, the danger of social media. I just got back from London and I went to Ireland. One of my dreams was to see Stonehenge. So I go to Stonehenge and I go to Ireland for Newgrange. These are two places I've wanted to see. But it's a lot of work. You drive down to JFK, you get on a plane, you're on a plane for 8 to 12 hours,
Yes.
You're tired when you get there. Sure, I took a picture in front of Stonehenge, I took a picture here and there. And, social media only shows you the top of the iceberg.
That's right.
It doesn't show,
You're so right.
you know what I mean? And then people get jealous and they think, oh, wow, but the truth is this requires a lot of work. So do you want to tease us with this secret that you got coming down the pike, maybe? I know you can't mention the name of the company, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Something that, if this happens, it could literally change the whole game for you. You want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We can, absolutely.
Okay.
So this is a big box store that we're talking about.
Oh, cool.
And it will literally, they told us if they place an order with us that they basically give us 1 year advance to manufacture enough product.
Wow.
So you would literally have 1 year for the PO.
Wow. So what would that mean? You'd be just making all of this product and just getting it out?
Yeah, and I would have to come up with a box design because, at that point we can't put it, you can't really send backpacks into a pallet.
Right.
They have to stack and,
Okay.
look really, really nice. And the thing is again, we're getting into marketing.
Right.
When you do the box design, you need to make sure that it grabs a person's eye within
Right.
5 seconds when they're walking by.
And how do you learn how to do that? We might want to have you come back and talk about that, or I definitely want to talk to you privately about that. That is really amazing.
Yeah.
You've got to get people's attention within a second, right?
Yeah, within 1 to 5 seconds, you lose them.
That's it.
It has to be beautiful, it needs to be really elegantly designed and properly designed for the parent in mind.
Right.
And so fortunately I know a designer, again, pure luck.
Wow.
He is equally vested in this as well.
Nice.
But he's even nervous at that level because
Yeah.
he's never done packaging design.
Sure.
So now I put the feelers out there. We're Astra members. It's a toy association. And I put the feelers out there for basically companies that specialize in package design.
Wow.
So I would have my guy design it.
Yeah.
We would run it through the filter of an agency, and just to make sure that all the ducks are in a row before we actually put it out in the pallets.
Wow. It's exciting. It's scary. It's an adventure, and you're leaving behind a legacy.
Yes,
Right?
hopefully. Yes. You never know. That's the beauty of this.
It's
You
the
never know.
American dream, right?
It is.
And sometimes it's a nightmare.
But the nightmares all turn into good dreams
Right.
eventually.
And I think that you're never the same. I think if you look at the journey you've been on and you look back and see where you've been a year ago or 2 years ago and see where you are now, you just realize that your life has gotten better.
Absolutely.
So how do folks get a hold of you in the last 30 seconds that we have left?
CreateAcastle.com. Start there. You're going to basically be able to access everything from that point. All of our social media will be on there.
Great.
Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, and soon to be Walmart.com, Fat Brain Toys,
Wow.
everything.
Well, I'm glad I got to meet you. I'm glad you were on Mindful Conversations After Hours. I'm really rooting for you. You're my hero.
Awesome.
And I love the philosophical concept of uniting people and bringing people together. And I know we gave you something to think about. So mind yourself. We'll catch you next time. Kevin, thank you so much.
Thank you, Greg.
This is